Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the boy Alf. I'm back here with another video, and in today's topic I'm going to be talking about the two things that I wish I knew before I started investing in property. Let's get into it. If you're new here, my name is Alf. In this channel we talk all things investing, property in business, motivation. So if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing and liking the video. Now, the two things that I would have wanted to know back then is every time I look for a property, look for property that is in distress or look for property that is underperforming. Distressed properties refers to any property that is physically or financially in distress. Physically meaning that you can see that it needs extensive repairs. Financially would mean that the owner cannot meet up with the maintenance of the property or the bond. When you go view the next property, be sure to ask the agent on what are the reasons that the owner is selling the property. Sometimes you find that the agent will be willing to open up to you and tell you why the owner is selling the property. Now, underperforming property would actually ideally be a property that's not fully meeting its potential returns or is not operating as efficiently as it should. Underperforming properties as well as distressed properties will usually sell at a discount compared to market value. You don't really want to find a property that is too much in distress, that it needs extensive repairs, especially when you're starting out, because this would mean that you need to hire out a contractor, someone who's going to maintain the property for you, and you don't really want to get your hands dirty in a property that requires a lot of repairs. Now, some of the benefits of investing in distressed or underperforming properties are as follows. Distressed properties will usually sell at a cost that is lower than market value. Therefore, once you've purchased such a property, you then have instant equity in the property from day one. Number two, depending on what you want to do with the property, if you rehab the property and then you're able to sell it, you will sell it at a much greater profit because you've added in the value. Another nice thing about buying a property that is distressed is that there is literally no competition. Most of these properties is that they bring risk. A lot of individuals out there are afraid to take on this risk. Therefore, it leaves room for you as a buyer to be able to negotiate the price that you want. And number two, not be afraid that someone can swoop in and take the property from in and under your feet. Now, the benefits of investing in underperforming properties are slightly different. You can get an underperforming property and you can then invest your time in it, managing it correctly so that it operates at its full potential. An example I can give you about me is one of my other properties that I've bought in the area called Brixton was a property that was both underperforming and in financial distress, because when I asked the agent what had happened, the agent told me that the seller of that property had recently just passed away, and the property was then moved on to the spouse of the seller, who at that time was not able to manage the property very well, and the spouse now could not afford the bond repayments of the property. So therefore, by addressing things like improving the quality of services that you provide to the tenants, you can gradually increase your occupancy rate for that property. Now let's get into how you go about finding these properties. So for me, there's three ways that you can go about finding a distressed or underperforming property. The number one first way is you can link up with a real estate agent. If you get in contact with a real estate agent, they might be able to tell you about any upcoming properties before even they get listed. Now, the second way that you can do this is you can do what's called a drive around or walk through in a particular area that you're interested in. You're looking for signs where the property is not being maintained enough, or you can see that the property is being deserted. Now, the third way to go about finding a distressed or underperforming property is to actually go onto P24 or private property and search for these properties on the site. So I'm going to go about showing you how I would do this and what steps I would take going forward. As you can see, I'm on the Property24 website, and some of the areas that are really up and coming and selling really well is the area called Fourways. So what I've put in here in the search bar is just Fourways, and I've just basically looked for a house. As I've mentioned before, apartment style is really something that I wouldn't invest in because it does not give you that flexibility of having multi-lets. Therefore, I wouldn't be looking at this option. I would look at any house and then I would click on search. Then once you find the search, what I would do is I would also sort my data from price low to high. And now look what this thing has showed me. It showed me the first result here, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in 4 ways going for 650, guys. Already I can tell that this property is somehow distressed because physically it looks like the owner has not been taking care of the property. Another thing is it's selling at a lower price compared to average selling prices around the area, which is around 1.7, but this 1.7 mil could be in the suburbs of 4 ways. So you could still, once you fix this property, get a price of around 1 million minimum. So now if I click onto this property, you will see that already I did mention that there is obviously some work to be done on it, but look at this house next to it. This house next to it has, burglar bars on the windows. This one does not have. So there's definitely value to add because you can either want to rent it out or sell it at a profit. Now let's just flip through the pictures. So here I can see it's just a single sink and I don't know what's happening with the wall there. But the ceiling looks fine. It looks like this house, there's no one living in it because it doesn't have furniture. But as I mentioned, it's all about maybe just putting in a little bit of work, but not too much. Maybe built-in cupboards, putting it a double sink. This looks like the stove, which sits there. But yeah, you can definitely have work being done on this. At the end of the day, you can list this property for a price that is equal to a better looking property in that location. If you go about finding distressed or underperforming properties that are within your arsenal to handle, you will definitely increase your wealth, have more cash flow to work with, and sell it at a good profit later down the line. I hope I've been real with you guys, and if you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe or leave a comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.